You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Hello and welcome to our final edition of the Red Devil Post Game for this school year. I'm your host, Tate Jacoby. Today we'll be wrapping up the year with a full recap of our Red Devil season, as well as taking a look back at our exclusive interviews with Jaguars tight end Mychal Rivera and GHS alumni Terence Patterson. But first off, our Red Devil football team had a remarkable season going 11-1. Let's take a look at the Red Devils' road to the playoffs.
Entering the playoffs, Germantown was seen as a huge threat, towering over everyone they played against. In the first round, our Red Devils faced crosstown rivals, the Houston Mustangs. The weather was foggy and the turf was wet, but that didn't faze either team. Early in the game, Germantown completed a 40-yard pass to Ray Lawrence for a quick 6 points. Embarrassed, Houston pushed through the Devils' defense, resulting in a touchdown. Entering the second quarter, Germantown scored 2 quick TDs thanks to sacks and forced fumbles. The Devils never relinquished the lead through the rest of the game. Germantown dominated the line, resulting in a 42-10 win, advancing to the next round. Entering the second round, our Red Devils battled the infamous White Station Spartans. It was a dry and cold day, and the game was back and forth, resulting in multiple turnovers and punts. The action picked up late in the game, with White Station taking the lead 10-7. Germantown quickly put up 7 points with little time left. Unfortunately, the Spartans emerged victorious with a 17-14 win, eliminating the Devils from the playoffs.
While it was tough to end the season with a loss, head football coach Chris Smith has finally hit his stride, leading his team to an undefeated regular season. Red Devil reporter Raina Kako and videographer Jordan Thurman give us some insight on what makes Chris Smith the Commercial Appeals Coach of the Year.
It was exciting all year.
Exciting is an understatement. This year, head coach Chris Smith and the Germantown High School football program celebrated their most successful season in a decade.
You know, there's a lot of expectations, but I think the guys did a great job of bringing it every single week, or else they wouldn't have been undefeated.
Going undefeated requires commitment, drive, and of course, teamwork, something the players made a priority this season.
This team had a lot of unity. They came out starting in December, and when you sacrifice really hard, it's a big investment.
And of course, it wouldn't be possible without the guidance from head coach Chris Smith.
Coach Smith has a very strong relationship with his players. He expects a great deal out of them, but he knows how to motivate them so that they can give everything that they have. And I think it makes them feel good about themselves.
He's always, brought us together for what is called a team meeting. And he'll give us, the goals that we have for this week. It's all out of love, but we just need to get ready for our next opponent.
You got to want to be great. And I think that goes for anybody and everything, anything they do.
Leading the team to the district championship on top of teaching is no easy task, and yet Coach Smith was able to do it all.
He does a great job in the classroom and then is able to spend the hours that it's needed afterwards. There's not anybody on this campus that works as hard as he does.
He spent countless hours of his time up here after school and during the nighttime, spending hours with us, after a long teaching day.
His dedication on and off the field is one of the reasons he was named Coach of the Year by the Commercial Appeal.
Not all people can say that they come up here and they are looking forward to coaching football for next 2 to 3 hours, but he looks forward to practice every day.
I feel like he really gives you an opportunity as a player to put you into the game, and I feel like he's one of the best coaches around for that.
But if you think Coach Smith is ready to rest on his laurels, think again.
Transitioning from high school football to college and college to professional football can be challenging. One person who is excelling is Mychal Rivera, the newest addition to the Jacksonville Jaguars and a former tight end for the Tennessee Vols. I recently had a chance to talk with the pro athlete in an exclusive interview. Check it out. Mychal, thank you so much for being on the show. I know being a pro athlete, you are very busy, so we really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me, man.
So you're in your 5th year in the NFL. You spent 4 seasons with the Oakland Raiders, and this past summer, you got traded to the Jacksonville Jaguars. How have you adjusted to your new football home and football schemes?
Well, I love the Jaguars, man. They're a great franchise, just like the Oakland Raiders. They have hardworking players. The coaches are really hardworking. Their offensive and defensive schemes are really professional, man. They come with a lot of different ways that they move the tight ends around, and that's why I really, wanted to be with an organization like this. So I'm just extremely proud to be a part of it.
Playing in the NFL, you have highs and lows. What are some of the hardest lessons you have learned as an NFL player?
Man, some of the hardest lessons have to do with, the wins and losses, man. The reason we do this is to get these wins. And when you have a bad week of practice, it shows on the field, man. And the other team gets those victories, and those don't feel good. So just the preparation that it takes all week that you have to put in to in order to get these wins, man. It's you can't hide on Sundays, man.
So what are some of the unexpected and pleasant surprises you have had as a pro athlete?
Man, just the platform that we have, it's incredible, man, to be able to talk to people like you guys and just to give advice and to get advice, man. Just the platform that the NFL puts us on is incredible, and I'm just, like I said, man, I'm just so happy to be a part of the Jaguars and the NFL organization.
So you went through the commitment process when you signed with the Vols. What do the student athletes need to consider when going through a process such as that?
Yeah, man, they got to consider, their name is a student athlete, and student is the word that comes first. And you got to be focused in class. You got to be focused on all your education and all your studies, and you equally have to be focused on your athletics. It's not one over the other. So really, going to the University of Tennessee, it was more about me being a student and an athlete, instead of just an athlete, because that's who you are.
So what was your scouting process like in high school?
Yeah, scouting process was, it was fun. A lot of official visits where you got to go visit the school and, talk to the teachers as well as the coaches. It's a good experience, but you really have to understand this is somewhere I'm going to be living for the next 4 to 5 years. And you have to really take that into account. And once you make your decision, you go with it, you go full force, and hopefully win the national championship.
Well, can you share with me and our viewers about what it takes to manage your studies while playing college football?
Yeah, that goes into what I was saying. It's just an equal time. You stay after practice 15, 20 minutes, getting those catches in, getting those throws in as a quarterback. Man, just after class, go up to the teacher, take another 15 or 20 minutes and get the studies done. And if you do that, if you put in equally amount of work, you're going to be successful in both.
So what advice would you give the commits here at Germantown and around the world who dream of becoming a professional NFL player? Man, it's possible. It's definitely possible because I know I did it myself. So, coming from where everybody comes from, everybody has an equal shot to make it. And, hard work and dedication, that'll get you there, man. It really will. And you got to just keep your eyes on the prize and stay focused throughout your career, through the highs and lows. Stay focused on being a student and an athlete, and everything will work out. Okay, so explain to us a little bit about the difference between college football and professional.
Man, the speed. It's, college is fast. And, playing in the SEC, playing at the University of Tennessee, I got to play against Alabama and Georgia, and they were fast. But when you go to the NFL, man, it's 16 constant weeks, and that's not even counting the playoffs or the Super Bowl of just fast 100% football. So it's very fast, man.
Well, Mychal, recently scientists confirmed the first diagnosis of CTE in a living human.
Yeah.
It's been linked to head injuries in football. Is this a concern for you?
Man, it is. It's a serious issue, man. CTE is real. And it's something that I have to say myself and all my teammates think about, and we also talk about it. But, while you're playing the game, you have to trust in the protection that you have. You have to trust in the helmets and the gear and the rules for safety that are in place to help things like this. And then you have to be smart. If you feel an injury, you feel, a headache or something, you have to report those things because these people are here to help you.
How have the Jaguars addressed that issue?
Yeah, just the NFL league as a whole has addressed the issue. They've had concussion tents on the sideline now. And, if they have spotters up in the stadium. So if they even think that you have a concussion, that they'll take you out of the game and ask you, a lot of questions to make sure your brain is functioning right.
Okay, hypothetical. Say a college football athlete has draft prospects. He's looking for representation, what advice would you offer him when it comes to choosing an agent?
Yeah, there's a lot of good agents out there, man, and that's that's a big part of, you know, becoming a professional athlete. You know, going from the college ranks, you now talk to these other professional people who are in that field. Just, you know, creating an interview process. Most schools and universities have a process to where you can go up to your athletic director or your head coach, and they can, you know, process these people through them so that you can have formal meetings instead of, you know, other type of meetings. So just let those people come to you through the school and work with your school in order to contact these agents.
Any last words of advice to our viewers?
Man, like I said, thank you guys for having me. You know, the Red Devils had a great season. I've been following them, and you know, I'm excited for you know, next season for you know, everybody. And thank you guys for having me.
Thank you again for sharing your insight and giving us an inside look at what it takes to be an NFL player on and off the field. We wish you the best of luck with the rest of your season.
You got it. Thanks a lot, man.
In February, high school athletes across the nation and right here at home signed a letter of intent to play college football. Capping off an undefeated season, our Red Devil football team celebrated seniors who committed to the next level. Ryan Coleman brings us the inside scoop.
You gotta have somebody you can trust right there, and Tyler did a phenomenal job.
The 2018 recruiting process is over, and the classes are set. Recently, 5 Germantown Red Devils signed their letters of intent to play college football next year.
It made me a good fit for Delta State because I think like everybody at the campus and the atmosphere, like everyone is a big family.
National Signing Day is one of the most important days in an athlete's career. It means all the extra hours of practice and training over the years has paid off.
It means a lot. It shows my dedication and hard work that I put in all 4 years of high school. I'm great and glad to happy to see that somebody's looked at to me and realized all that hard work that I've put in.
I mean, it's a blessing. I'm blessed with a second chance, you know, to do what I've been doing my whole life, and I just didn't want to give up on it.
But now comes the hard part, as the senior athletes transition to freshman college players and work to prove they deserve to play.
I'm looking forward to start my freshman year. Going to start, showing what I'm made of, you know, make sure the coach have trust in me to make plays.
This year, Germantown had one of their best teams in a decade. Head coach Chris Smith says coaching these athletes was easy because they were hungry for wins.
We just tried to guide them to where they needed to go, and you know they have to want to be good, which is a big part. So these guys really wanted to do this, and they set their mind to it, and we're just thankful we're coachable enough to be able to execute what we said, and again, I think you know they're going to reap the benefits of that.
And these parents have one wish for their children.
Success. That's my wish. Success. Continue to work hard and do his best.
These student athletes have put in a lot of time and sacrifices to get to the collegiate level.
National Signing Day is always a highly anticipated day for athletes. One person who knows a lot about that is Terence Patterson, a former Red Devil quarterback and an outstanding college athlete. Early in the year, Ryan sat down with Patterson, who is making the Memphis community a better place.
Well, Mr. Patterson, thank you very much for being here, and welcome to the Red Devil postgame. We all know that you were not only a successful football player, but also a very good student. I guess what we all want to know is, how did you manage a 4.0 GPA while also being a star athlete?
You know, it took a lot of balance, a lot of preparation, a lot of late nights, and focus. I mean, for me, you know, it was always academics first and then a focus on my athletic career. And so it really took just a lot of organization and preparation. But I think the biggest thing, if I had to look back, it was probably the organization, making sure I knew where I was supposed to be, but also where I was supposed to be when I was where I was supposed to be studying as well. So it was really probably organization and preparation.
Well, you went on to play at Harvard. What stood out to you that other colleges didn't?
Yeah, you know, the opportunity to go to one of the best colleges in the world, irrespective of, you know, my athletic career at the time, I really was thinking, and I was fortunate to have mentors and family around me to give me some foresight, because at age 18, I didn't have this in mind, but the opportunity to go to a place that would position you to do whatever you wanted to do and open up doors and possibilities. That was really what Harvard had to offer that I felt like I couldn't necessarily get or wouldn't have gotten if I had made a different decision.
Well, Mr. Patterson, how did your time here at GHS prepare you for an Ivy League school?
Yeah, you know, it goes back to that preparation and just being well-rounded. You know, at the Ivy League level, things are going 1,000 miles per hour. And to have the experience of coming to a place like Germantown where, you know, I had the benefit of being around a large class. I had the benefit of competing at a high level on the playing field, but also being competitive in the classroom as well, taking a series of AP classes. All of that together really prepared me. But I got to be honest, I don't think anything could have really prepared me for the awakening that I got when I set foot in Cambridge. I mean, it was a dramatic difference. And, you know, you rely a lot on your experiences in high school. You rely a lot on your upbringing. You rely a lot on your faith as well. But you make it through because of perseverance and also just the preparation that you had. And you just got to trust and believe in yourself.
You've received a lot of awards and recognition. Looking back, which ones stand out or mean the most to you?
Gosh, that's a tough one because I never competed for the recognition. You know, I never went to class to get an accolade. You know, it was really all about preparing for life, right? And in particular on sports, it was about competing with my teammates. And so I think what stands out the most are winning titles and winning and being a part of the team. I don't know if it's necessarily an individual accolade, but it was those team accomplishments, right? So winning the region, being the first class to bring my coach at Harvard his first Ivy League title, right? Like those team accomplishments. Now, I will say, being the only player in Harvard history to run, catch, throw, and return a touchdown in a single season is something that I take great pride in because it's so unique and no one else has done that. But when I look back, it was really those team accomplishments and being able to say we did this together as winners.
Now, Mr. Patterson, tell us what you're up to now.
Yeah, so most recently I was at the Downtown Memphis Commission, leading the organization that was tasked with making downtown Memphis the place to live, work, play, and invest. And I'm now in transition. I'm evaluating moving into the private sector, but what's really weighing on me is the opportunity to get involved in a political environment as well. So I'm excited. I remain committed to do whatever I can to make Memphis and Shelby County the best place possible, not just for today, but for our future, right? I have a 4-year-old son, and I want Memphis and I want Shelby County to be a great place into the future. So that's really what I'm committed to doing.
What advice do you have for the football players who want to go on and play college football?
Yeah, we talked a lot about this before the game. To me, there are 3 or 4 things that stick out. Number one is have fun. You cannot, I think maybe Jay-Z said it right, pressure bust pipes. You got to just relax and have a good time, right? The second thing is you got to be prepared. You got to know what the plan is. And the last one is have a plan. That is what I believe it took and takes to play at the next level and compete in life too. I mean, look, sports is a microcosm for life, and I'll firmly believe that football prepares you just as well as any other sport to be successful in life. So all of those things are about competing at the next level, but also being successful in life.
Mr. Patterson, thank you very much for giving us your time today and coming on the Red Devil postgame. We would like to tell you that Germantown High School is very proud to have an alumni of your caliber. Thank you very much for giving us your time today.
Thanks. I appreciate it. It's always a joy to be back at your alma mater. And again, this is such a great honor. So thank you for having me.
We're going to switch gears here to talk about another popular sport here at GHS, running. The track team raced through their spring season, and I hit the track to find out what keeps drawing runners to one of the world's oldest sports.
For some people, running is viewed as a punishment, but for these GHS athletes, they see it as an opportunity.
I mean, some people gonna make it, some people not gonna make it. It's just you gotta be strong, you gotta have that heart to run.
Track is special to me because there's a rawness to it. It's just running. As a freshman, I qualified for state and a sophomore, and hopefully if I continue to do what I'm doing, I'll qualify for the next 2 years.
Track and field is a tough sport. GHS runners are sometimes competing 3 times in a week, and it can take a toll on the body. That's where conditioning comes in.
Well, track, it make you tired a lot of times, and it kind of make you angry because you want to win, but you know you're not going to win, so that was the really pain about it.
Track has taught me that you got to persevere and keep going. Can't give up on yourself.
Running track requires the right mindset. Without that, the aspiring athlete can lose the race in an instant. But the runners learn and grow from their defeats.
Well, I try to relax and think positively and just believe that I can do whatever I put my mind to because I know I've trained for it.
We have track meets. They are able to pinpoint, as well as myself, what we need to tweak and what we need to perfect.
The track season is just ramping up, and the GHS runners say the team is ready to finish the season strong.
We have a lot of great freshmen, and we have a lot of other students that are upperclassmen to teach them, and it's pretty good.
They're constantly working on the skill, they're constantly working on the fundamentals and improving the run form, which improves time.
When you get to high school, then ain't no little boys no more. You going, you're going to have to come in, you're going to have to be ready. You got to come in with your A game.
These kids have a lot of potential and they have a lot of heart, and I can see it in them when they come out here to practice.
I think we can all agree that Memphis Grizzlies had a rough season with 60 losses. But they are already looking to the next season, and they might find what they need in Ivan Rabb, who was called up from the Memphis Hustle for a few games last year. The 6'10" power forward went one-on-one with Ryan in an exclusive interview. Check it out.
Ivan, thank you for your time. I know you just wrapped up practice, so I appreciate you sticking around and being on the Red Devil postgame.
It's all good. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
So this is your first year in the NBA. You declared for the draft after your sophomore season at California.
Yeah.
Tell me, what went into the decision to go pro?
Really, it didn't really take a lot of thought. I kind of wanted to leave my first year, and I was going back and forth on it, and I felt like I can improve by coming back my second year. So by my second year, I just felt like I was ready to make that leap, and so far it's been great.
Has it been everything you thought it would be, being a professional athlete?
Yeah, most definitely. I think it's been a lot more challenging than what people think. I think a lot of people think it's just coming in to play basketball, but there's a lot that goes into it, especially with my situation, going back and forth from the D-League, never knowing when I'm going to get my opportunity to play for the Grizzlies, and just capitalizing whenever I had the chance.
Talk about the adjustment going from a college athlete to a professional NBA player.
The best thing about the transition is, I mean, there's no more classes, so you have a lot more time to improve your game, work on your game, watch film, relax, get treatment, stuff like that people don't really think about, but it's a huge difference between the transition.
Okay, let's talk about your first NBA game. What was going through your mind as you suited up for the first time to get ready to play in the Bluff City?
Man, that first home game was huge. I mean, I didn't know if I was going to play or not. I didn't know what my role would be, but it was just exciting to see that jersey. I mean, I sat there and held that jersey for like 5 minutes straight, just looking at it, like turning it front and back, and just kind of realizing my dream really came true. After all these years, me talking about it, working for it, and it's finally happened, so I was excited.
So Ivan, the Memphis Grizzlies are known for having a huge heart, and they really help the community, and in turn, the community supports them back. Have you gotten to participate in any of the community events?
Oh yeah, I've done a ton of community service events so far. I mean, we gave back for Thanksgiving. I came back and did Fit Week with the Grizz kids, and I mean, there's been different things that I've done. I've enjoyed them all, especially the looks on those kids' faces when you come and they meet an NBA player or we're giving back to them. It's something that's huge, something that I wish I had when I was younger too.
Let's switch gears a little bit. What advice would you give someone in high school going on wanting to play college basketball or even being a professional athlete in the NBA?
I think the biggest advice I can give somebody who's going through that is to just take it day by day. It won't happen overnight. I mean, some days you'll feel like you made it, some days you'll feel like you can't do it, but you gotta, just keep everything in perspective. There's a saying that people always say, stay even keel. I mean, some days it's gonna be good, some days it's gonna be bad, but you gotta just continue to work, continue to grind and perfect your game, and then one day it could possibly happen. But I mean, nothing happens without confidence and hard work.
So tell me and the viewers a little bit about the typical day-to-day lifestyle at California being a college athlete.
I mean, at Cal, one of the best research universities in the world, one of the toughest schools in the world. I mean, it was a grind every day going to class. Something I look forward to though, because I learned just so much about the world that I didn't know, stuff that I didn't think about. So, I mean, after class, every day we had to go to practice, playing under Coach Martin, playing with those guys on my team. I mean, it was tough every day. I mean, we went at it, we fought hard, and then, I mean, after we were always friends again. But during practice, I mean, pretty much weren't no friends. We just competed every day. And then when I got home at night, I always tried to find time to hang out with my friends, but I always knew I had to finish up that homework. I mean, we had a lot of assignments and stuff, so it was hard to balance. But I mean, at the end of the day, once you do what you have to do, you can do what you want to do. So I always make sure I knocked out my work and did everything I was supposed to do first.
What insight can you give someone maybe like you in high school who have a lot of schools looking at them? What should they look for in a team when they're getting ready to commit to a university?
Yeah, I mean, it's not all about the biggest name. First of all, I mean, you can get caught up in the Kentuckys, the Kansas schools. I mean, those are all great schools, but it's about yourself. At the end of the day, those coaches, they have a job to do, and they want to keep their job. So you have to look out for yourself and your family, and that's what I did by going to Cal. I mean, I could have went to different schools, but I feel like they really cared about me and my family. It was close to home. I was going to get the opportunity to play and play my game, and it paid off.
So, Ivan, tell me a little bit, what type of schools and universities were looking at you?
Obviously, UC Berkeley, the school that I went to, Kentucky, Arizona, Kansas, UCLA, Georgetown. I mean, I had all the schools, pretty much every school, every big name school that you could think of was looking at me.
One last question. What exactly has basketball taught you in your personal life?
Basketball taught me in my personal life. I think basketball has just taught me to just take everything with a grain of salt. There's gonna be people on the outside who have something to say about you every day when you're playing well and when you're playing bad. But you just have to realize what's important to you, who's important to you, and everything else is just loud. It's just noise. You got to keep that on the outside and keep everything in your circle tight, and move on to the next step.
Well, Ivan, it has been a pleasure speaking with you.
You too,
Once again, I would like to thank you for coming on the Red Devil postgame, and we look forward to seeing what you and the Memphis Grizzlies can do, finishing your season strong.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Well, that wraps up this year's final Red Devil postgame show. I'd like to thank all our special guests who appeared on the show this season. Our Red Devils had an amazing year in numerous sports, and I'm excited to see what the teams will do next year. If you'd like more information on the show or any other program here at GHS-TV, visit our website at ghstv.org or follow us on Facebook and Twitter at GHS-TV. Signing off for Red Devil Post Game, I'm Tate Jacoby. Go Red Devils!